with Huston from Astrology at alpusastrology.com. Welcome to my October 2019 astrological outlook as I see it. I've already put up what I thought was the most important thing of October, and that of course is going to be the Mercury Retrograde. I'll put a link to that video though for those that maybe didn't see it or those that want to see it again, and there's timestamps for each sign. So this is going to be a relatively short video where I cover other energies that are going on in October 2019, as well as the full and new moon, which certainly play into all the major activities that are going to be happening, including that Mercury retrograde at the end of October. So we all know that Pluto has stationed to go direct, and it's now slowly moving forward to gain back its power. So this on one level says that certainly we're going to feel that our power has come back, that we have the power to do things, that we have the power to change things, that we just feel more that we have a confidence inside about moving forward with things that have been delayed for 6 months for whatever reasons. But the other thing is this, that we mustn't forget that Pluto rules the underworld, right? So we also have that aspect coming into play, where we could have literal power plays happening out in the collective as well as us two individually. So I would say that if you are in one of these situations where you have a power play being played on you, this absolutely is the time that you must stand up and tell the truth. This is the key here with this Pluto aspect. Jupiter, as well as Saturn, is that we must reveal the truth of what's going on underneath. And I suspect for many of us individually, it's what's been going on for a long time, whether it's 1 month, 2 years, 2 decades. It's all coming out. And it's going to be revealed, and we're going to have to handle it and look at it over that Mercury retrograde, which is going to be going on for a couple of months. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say in terms of the actual energies out there. Pluto is playing a big part. It's squaring different planets as well, Venus, the Sun. So, you know, let's look at this full moon. So the full moon in Aries is on October 13th, 2019, and it is at 20 degrees, Aries, 13 minutes. Okay, so this automatically tells you that this full moon is squaring Pluto. But the other aspect here is the other luminary, which is the Sun. The Sun's also squaring Pluto. So we know right away that things are afoot. Things are afoot. Coupled with this, we have Venus opposite Uranus. And then, of course, as at all full moons, the moon is opposite the Sun. So we have the Libra Sun and the Aries moon. So this points to, yep, you got it, relationships again. But there's another element here, especially when we bring in that Venus in Scorpio opposite Uranus. I think this is going to be a big signal from the stock market and any investments like that, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all that. There may be some surprise shake-up here that goes on that then furthers all this shake-up and having to go back and look at things and figure things out during that Mercury retrograde. So I think the stock market's going to be giving us a little bit of a shock and jolt here. And maybe it's something that's necessary to reset things, even though initially it may not seem so great. But personally, we could be looking at, with this Venus opposite Uranus, we could look at literally a shake-up in our relationships, whether it's our friendships, marriage, or some kind of partnerships. But I would say it's probably going to be more like love partnerships of some sort, because we've got that Libra involved here with the Sun. We do have a nice aspect, though, with the Moon, which is trine Jupiter. So that, to me, just says it softens the blow or softens the fall, and gives us a little bit of a cushion where emotionally you're not going to know that this is the truthful and right thing to do, whatever it is that shakes out for you or that you shake out for somebody else. But this is, I think, a turning point in the month, is this full moon in Aries. I would get lots of sleep and make sure I'm taking my vitamins and juicing and appropriate food and not many late nights. You know, we also have Mars in Libra, so this also talks about fighting in relationships, just on the surface. But it's also about fighting for our rights and to use the law to do it. So we may see that happening as well. I'm going to look at the new moon next. So the new moon in Scorpio is going to be on the 27th of October, and it is at 4 degrees Scorpio, 25 minutes. And as with all new moons, the sun and the moon are together. Well, the sun and the moon oppose Uranus, so we have another shake-up happening here. And this may be more reverberating than the full moon in Aries. This is kind of like a direct hit in opposition with both the sun and the moon. We also have Mercury conjunct Venus at this time, as well as Pallas Athena again. So that could be a combination of things as it plays out on the world stage. And again, this could be money, where there's big communications about what's going on with our money world. But it also could be communications with regards to warfare of any sort, small or big, where maybe someone is fighting a fair war. And it doesn't necessarily mean a war with guns and bombs. It could be just the war that needs to be fought to have equality in this world. Rears its head for good reason. Now we have a nice aspect with Saturn sextiling Neptune, which I really like, because this is really bringing in, I think, on a big level. It's going to bring it in on a global level as well as an individual level. The truth as it really is, right? And where we're going to have to be looking at opportunities to put truth in place with all our structures. And that means our governments, our banks, etc. Okay. So I'm just going to finish up with just tying up a little bit of this Mercury retrograde. I've already done a video on this. It's going to start at doing a stationary retrograde on the 31st of October 2019, and that is on the Pacific coast. It starts its retrograde at 27 degrees of Scorpio, so that's towards the end of the sign, and then it ends its actual physical retrograde at 11 degrees on the 20th of November. But remember, there's that shadow period going from the 12th of October to the 8th of December. So I've advised a lot of my clients to, and many of them are in the finance world, I've said that really get your ducks in order in terms of important documents before that shadow period. Normally I don't say something like that, even though the shadow period is always there for each of these Mercury retrogrades. This is a very powerful, life-changing, revelatory, along with surprising Mercury retrograde. It's going to be digging up a lot of the stuff and pulling it to the surface to tell the truth about what's really going on. So we can, I'm sure, think of many things in our world where that needs to happen. The other thing to remember with this Mercury retrograde in conjunction with this Pluto going forward is different times sort of October, we're all individually going to be feeling that there is some powerful force, and it may be a powerful force that you feel is working against you. You may have more power in yourself and are able to move forward. But remember, there are all other things too, like we'll have fears about, are we doing the right thing? Am I going in the right path? Am I with the right person? And obsessive thinking, that sort of thing. All sorts of secrets are going to be popping up. So I would say this is a month where you really want to make sure you're healthy and that you're taking care of your body as well as your mind to your best of ability. All right, so please do that. I think this Mercury retrograde will be having a lot of us that are in the stock market world reacting and maybe have to make big changes with our money. In addition to us all individually having to look at the things that we've not looked at probably for many years that we're now being forced to look at. All right, that's all I really have to say. I'll be back. I'm trying to do at least 3 to 4 videos a month so that I can reach out to you more. Please leave me your comments, especially as October goes along, and let me know how you're being affected. Take care, everybody, and don't forget to breathe.